So if you're running a DIY power setup, you've probably put a ton of thought into your batteries, right? But have you ever kind of glanced at your parallel bank and noticed one battery seems to fill up way faster than the others? Well, let's dive into why that happens, because it's a super common issue that can have some pretty serious consequences. You know, it's that one frustrating question that almost everyone with a battery bank asks at some point. Why do my parallel batteries seem to get so out of sync? Why do they die young or charge so unevenly? I promise you, it's not just your imagination, and it is definitely not something you should ignore.
Because look, this is way more than just a little annoyance. It's a silent problem that can seriously damage your entire battery bank. But here's the good news. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to fix this for good and get your system running perfectly. Okay, first things first, let's really get a handle on why this is so critical. We're moving beyond just being annoyed and into the real, actual risks involved here.
And let's be super clear, an unchecked imbalance is no small thing. We're talking premature capacity loss, which just means your expensive batteries die way sooner. We're talking about the weaker batteries in the bank overheating as they struggle to keep up. And in the absolute worst-case scenario, this can lead to a catastrophic thermal runaway. And that's just a fancy way of saying the battery basically cooks itself from the inside out. Yeah, that's why getting this right, it's just not optional.
All right, so why does this even happen? Especially with batteries that are supposed to be identical. Let's pull back the curtain and get into the actual science of the imbalance. It all kicks off with something called internal resistance. The easiest way to think about it is like a tiny, hidden bit of friction inside every single battery. And get this, even in brand new, fresh out of the box, supposedly identical models, this value can be slightly different. And that tiny difference, well, that's where all the trouble begins.
And then you've got the state of charge, or SOC. This is pretty much just the battery's fuel gauge. Now, imagine one battery has a slightly higher state of charge. It's going to hit its full voltage sooner than the others. When that happens, it basically tricks your charge controller into thinking the whole bank is full, so the charger shuts off early, leaving the other batteries high and dry.
So this really brings us to the whole ideal versus reality situation. See, in a perfect world, on paper, all your batteries share both voltage and current perfectly equally. But in the real world we all live in, the battery with that slightly lower internal resistance, it just hogs more of the current. And like we just said, the one with the higher fuel level finishes charging first, leaving its buddies behind.
And just when you thought it was all about the batteries themselves? Nope. Would you believe it? Even your wires get in on the action. This little formula here just shows how even tiny differences in your cable lengths or their thickness create little voltage mismatches. They might seem small, but trust me, they all add up and make that overall imbalance even worse.
Okay, enough with the what and the why. We get it. It's a problem. Now let's get to the good stuff, the actual step-by-step fix. This is the practical guide to getting everything back in balance.
All right, before you even think about connecting anything, you need to burn this number into your brain, 0.02 volts. That is the absolute maximum voltage difference you should ever have between your Life PO4 batteries before you wire them in parallel. For lead acid, you get a little more wiggle room. It's 0.05 volts. This is your first and honestly most important checkpoint. If you get this wrong, you risk a massive, dangerous surge of current the second you make that connection.
And all of this boils down to a pretty simple 5-step process to get that perfect balance. First, you measure. Check every battery's voltage by itself. Second, you equalize. You got to get them all to the exact same state of charge. Third, check your cables. They have to be symmetrical, same length, same thickness. Fourth, connect everything, but do it through a quality charge controller. And finally, number 5, you monitor. Keep a close eye on those battery temperatures, especially during the first few charge cycles.
Now, that second step, equalizing, this one's super important, and it is totally different depending on what kind of batteries you're running. If you've got lead acid or AGM, you're going to use a controlled equalization charge, but you have to follow the manufacturer specs to the letter. For all you folks with LiFePO PO4 batteries, you'll be relying on a good battery management system, or BMS. That's basically the battery's brain, and a good one will balance the cells for you automatically. If not, you can grab an external balancer to do the job. Okay, we're on the home stretch. We have the fix, but we can't do any of this without talking about safety. And I want to be clear, these aren't just suggestions. They are the absolute, non-negotiable precautions you have to take. So here's your safety checklist. No excuses. Always, and I really mean always, use fuses on your individual battery strings.
Wear your protective gear when you're measuring voltage, and please resist the temptation to connect batteries that are way different in age, capacity, or their state of charge. It's a recipe for disaster. And of course, keep an eye out for any weird heat. Heat is your first warning sign.
And this quote right here, it just says it all. Remember, even small mismatches can create dangerous currents. That tiny little voltage difference we talked about can cause a huge surge of current to flow from the higher battery to the lower one, like a waterfall of electricity. And that's where things can get dangerous really, really fast. So, you do all this work. What's in it for you? What's the big payoff for getting this right? Let's talk about what having a healthier, balanced battery bank really means for you and your setup. At the end of the day, here's the bottom line. By actually taking the time to measure, balance, and monitor, you're not just fixing some nagging problem. You are actively extending the life and maximizing the performance of what was probably a pretty big investment. You get more power, you get more reliability, and you get a whole lot more peace of mind. So, I want to leave you with a question. Now that you know how to properly balance your bank, what's the one thing you're going to go and check first? Is it your cable links? The individual voltages of each battery? Just give it some thought and make sure you get it done.